Hi Anshu, hi Abhishek, hi Deeksha and Arpit. Hi everyone,
Hello,
welcome.
sir. Hi,
Am I
hi.
Hello,
audible to
sir.
you?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir, you
Yes,
are
Hi,
sir.
audible
Aini.
to us.
All smiling faces, the exams got over finally.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
finally.
So I believe everyone would be, at their home, right? Not in the campus
Yes, yes,
or.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah.
We all
We
at
all
our
are
homes.
attending this from our home.
Okay, work from home, MBA from home. Yeah, a different world altogether.
Yeah,
New
absolutely.
normal.
True,
New
sir.
normal.
Good. So first of all, congratulations on, making it to the national finalist. The name is, quite powerful, I must say, think tank. So who proposed it? What is the basic reason, behind, this name, think tank?
It was Abhishek and Anshu, I guess. Like both of them
Yeah.
were actually
Me,
pretty.
me and Abhishek proposed
We
this name think
brainstormed on
tank.
the name as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Actually,
just,
we
yeah,
came
yeah,
across
please
three,
Anshu,
four
go on.
names. Then we came across three, four names. Then we decided think tank is look attractive. That's why we think.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell my experience. There were at least 5 teams with the name Think Tank, and
Oh.
when we had to publish results, I had to ensure it 2 or 3 times that I have not just declared the name of other team. So there were
Oh
at
man.
least 5 teams with the same name. So the most common name in the competition so far. Yeah. So you see, I think you would be getting a basic idea why we are having this discussion and not the presentation, because we want you to feel comfortable, before you actually deliver, and because this is your idea, this is your product, this is your presentation, and so this is your time. Okay, the next 1 hour is totally yours. It's not we who is driving the wheels. It's you. Okay, for the next 1 hour or so. So just make the best use out of it and feel very much comfortable, very much relaxed. If there are mistakes, there are mistakes. If there are something which are to be appreciated, they are to be appreciated, right? It's all done and sorted. All we have to do is just go back and deliver what we actually did, right? So unlike whatever the protocol might be in a corporate competition kind of a thing, feel very relaxed, very comfortable. Obviously, all together, see, all 7 of us, we are just one team, for the next 1 hour and even beyond
Okay.
that. Who is looking, the team which is looking forward to solving a common problem that the student community or the young professional community is facing, right? So there is no team MBA track or team think tank as of now. Yeah, keeping the presentation, aside, just from the solution point of view, we are all together, right? So what I'll do is I'll just walk you through the basic rules, and I hope my screen is visible to each and every one of you, right?
Yes. Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Yeah, yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so I'll just walk you through the basic, rules regarding the time and other stuff. Then, yeah, sure. So let's take it forward. So basic, guidelines about the time. We would start with the introduction, with team MBA Trek introducing themselves first, followed by team think tank. Okay. Then we will have a presentation round of 20 minutes. So 15 minutes is what we found, based on your feedback, quite less. We agreed. And yeah, so Deeksha is nodding, yeah, it was very less. So 20 minutes it is, right, for part one and part two completely. After that, we will have a Q&A round of another 20 minutes, wherein we would start with the questions, and you would be answering. And it goes the other way also. Once we are done, you can ask, you can go with the questions and we will answer whatever you have in your minds. Talking about the general rules, the first one is what I'm trying to do, so far so good. And you have been trying to, keep it up, stay relaxed, keep smiling. Not all the time, but yeah, most of the time, right? So that is one thing. Please keep your cameras on all the time so that whenever you're answering and presenting, we have we can see you. Uh, it's work from home. It's MBA from home. So definitely there are going to be network issues in the previous presentation. So it was me who experienced the network issue while delivering this very slide. So that goes by default. If there is any such scenario, feel very comfortable to wait for the presenter to come back. If want the other person to take over, it's totally up to you. No issues with us. That time will not be included in the 20 minutes time frame that we have for the presentation, right? That is one thing. As a presenter, as a presenter, you should also be aware of the criteria that we have set to evaluate you as a team. So the first one is the backbone of the entire competition, that is the user experience, right? The flow, journey, your designing and redefinition of the entire product that you have created is the first thing. The second thing is a real world applicability. Okay, so the problem or the solution that you have proposed, it should be, it should have some real time scenario, real time implicant, it should be implementable in real time. That is what I would say, right? That is second thing. The third thing goes by default. You are an MBA student. You should have a business understanding of the industry, the company, the user, the products, each and everything, right? The fourth thing is your attention to detail, your in-depth analysis of how you have, provided analysis of our existing, assessments that we provided to you, of how detailed analysis have you done for your own product that you have developed over here. Okay. So things like that. And finally, the fifth point is about the next 45 minutes that we're going to have with you regarding presentation and delivery. All right. So as far as the content of this slide goes, is there any problem with anyone? Any question regarding anything? All clear? All sorted?
No, sir, it's all.
No, note from my side.
Perfect, perfect. So what I'll do is I would now request Mr. Abhishek Srivastava, the CEO of our company, MBA Trek, to start with the team introduction and his introduction. Yeah, over to you, sir.
So hi Abhishek. We share same name, Anshu, Arpit, and Diksha. I think team think tank. I'm really looking forward to all the thinking and the tanking that you have done. So just to follow up on what Ayush said, I think let's look at it as 7 business professionals coming together. 4 of them, or 3 of them have an MBA, and 4 of them are working on their MBA right now. So I think that's a nice way to look at it. And I think let's come together on a common. Let me also apologize. I have a 1.5-year-old in my house, and that's the meaning of work from home for someone like me. So she may scream from time to time while I talk, so I will try to stay on mute as much as possible. Yeah, I think let's stay very relaxed. Don't worry about the disconnections and all that, and because that's sort of the reality of the situation. If somebody wants to pick up from what the other person left, sure, he or she can do that. Or honestly, you can wait for the next for the main presenter to come back in whatever way you want. Just a quick introduction for myself. Engineer, like most of us, started almost 20 years back my engineering, so that gives you an idea of my age. I'm an environmental engineer, so different from most other engineers, and very, very privileged to have actually worked in my field for that long. So I was an environment and sustainability consultant for a good 10 years actually. So worked in many firms, namely Trinity Consultants in the US, and I worked with Accenture for a very long time. Traveled all across the world. I did some very, very interesting projects in very, very interesting places also. Worked with Apple, did a lot of state strategy, business planning things for them. And yeah, mentoring and coaching has been a big part of my career. It's something that I take as a personal passion. So I do it, in fact, at all my alma maters. So whether it's TC or Georgia Tech at ISB, I'm a registered mentor with all of them. And yeah, an MBA Trek is an absolute passion. I'm wedded to the fact, and I think the team is as well, that we want to fundamentally change how India prepares for its careers. Because career preparation in our country and career counseling in this country, it stops the day you get admission into college. It's actually very sad. That's when it should start. So the only thing, our entire ecosystem, including our parents, including us as students, and I mistake myself, so I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou, is what degree, what college. But the reality is that's not your career. Your career is what you want to do. The problem is neither is anybody asking that question and neither anybody is answering that also. Now you will say, "Oh, Abhishek, there are so many great companies," and by the way, there's some brilliant companies in the ed tech space, in the higher education space, all the big brands there. But the problem is they're only solving for either skill development or content um, or they're giving you knowledge basis a particular career or particular area which they believe is the right career that everybody should have. And that's why White Hat Junior gets a lot of heat, because not everybody wants to do coding, but they believe coding is the only career there, right? Now that becomes a fundamental challenge, because everybody realizes they don't want to necessarily do what you're telling us. You tell me what I'm good at. And I think that is what we want to change as a company. It's a hard journey, because just like how it took some time for India to warm up to e-commerce, I think we're probably fighting similar battles, but looking forward to it. And yeah, I think that's that. Couple of reflections from life. Maybe you all can benefit from it. I started entrepreneurship too late in life. I've started 10 years back. Should have been 25 when I started my entrepreneurship venture, not 35. Too old to be an entrepreneur, honestly. Should have never studied so much in life. 3 degrees doesn't make much of a difference eventually. It's a little bit of an overkill, I think. And yeah, I'm a massive sports fanatic. So watch all kinds of sports. Very happy that the cricket is back on. Not so watch football. I don't watch football so much, but for any football fans in the team, I do watch Liverpool play here and there. So that's Abhishek. So I'll let Ayush Rahul take over.
Sure. So, hello team. My name is Rahul, and I've been with MBA Trek for more than 2 years now. And we have been working on a lot of projects. So, I am the business head for the corporate and young professionals vertical. Okay, so all the enterprise solutions which we are building, I have been working on that more. Okay, before that, I did my MBA from Delhi School of Economics, and before that, I was a commerce graduate. And yeah, it has been a great learning journey. We have been building so much stuff. We have been working on building a lot of capabilities in the students and in our business as well. So yeah, that has been fun. Yeah, that's me. Ayush, you want to take it forward?
Yeah, thank you, Rahul. So I'm Ayush. I work at MBA Trek as product and business development manager. I recently completed my MBA from IIM Kashipur in 2020. I have around 3 years of experience of working in the education industry and only in startups. For first 2 years, I had my own. For next 6 months, I was working in one of the startups that is recently founded, in Kota, Rajasthan. And then I joined MBA Trek. I also did my summer internship from MBA Trek itself, in 2019, wherein I received my full-time offer. And just like what Abhishek said, I'm also passionate about coaching and mentoring people. That is what I've been doing, my entire life, my entire professional life, I would say. And just like what Rahul said, life and, life at MBA Trek has been really full of learnings, full of opportunities. And that is the beauty of, working in a startup and working in a team, which is so dynamic and so, you should say, objective driven. That is what I would call it. And to, just sum up all of it, I would say that wherever you go for internship, be it, our own company, MBA Trek, or some other, corporate, you should always look forward to learning, because that is what the internship opportunities are all about, right? So yeah, with that, I would now request you to introduce, yourself one by one.
So I'm
Okay.
going to take this.
Okay, fine. Anshu, you start.
Yeah, my name is Anshu Jain. I was born in UP, but brought up in Delhi. I have done my undergraduation from Delhi University. My dad is a business and my mom is a homemaker. And after my class 12, I also work with my dad. And apart from business and study, I love to do horse riding and cricket. Now, that's it. Albert, you will take it.
My name is Arpit Jaketia. I am from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. I'm a civil engineer, post which I worked for RDC Concrete in RMC Business as a technical officer for 28 months. I love photography and I'm a state level badminton player as well.
Thank you, Arpit. So going on with me. So hello, everyone. My name is Abhishek Kakoti, and I'm from the northeastern part of India. Basically, I'm from the tea city of Assam, known as Dibrugarh. I'm a commerce grad, specialized in accounting and taxation. And just like Abhishek sir just said, I also love cricket, but not a great fan of football. And yeah, that's it.
Hello everyone, I am Diksha. I am a computer science engineer, completed my engineering in 2017. After that, I have worked with Cognizant for 28 months. There I have worked with web application development, and I am a reader. I like reading different genre of books. I do not read a particular genre. I like reading everything. And I play basketball as well. That's
That is great. That is awesome. Thank you so much for your introduction. Sir, I think we are good to go. Yeah. So I'll take that as a yes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do is I have already given sharing rights to you. Okay. So who is going to present, by the way? Who is going to
So
share?
I'm going to present.
So all the best, team. Also, just to give you an idea of the timeline, I'll just remind you after 10 minutes and 15 minutes of the time that you have left with you. Okay, so that you can maybe structure your presentation or your process, accordingly. So with that, the stage is all yours now. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, okay, I'm starting on with the presentation. Arpit, would you like to start? I hope
Yeah.
it's visible.
Yes, it's visible. So the user journey starts on the first page of a PPT, the main page. We have kept the main page. We have kept the main page fairly simple in order to actually invite the users to get involved with the PPT, with the app. If the user is not a current user and has logged in for the first time, we'll provide him with a sign up option, which will collect his basic information. Can you go to the next slide, Abhishek? Yeah. So in order to actually differentiate between the user, if the user is a student or young professional, we'll just ask for a quick question. If he's a student or user, the user for either cases will have to take a psychometric test of 10 minutes, which will actually give us a better knowledge on the user characteristics. Once the user gets the result, we'll provide him with the relevant courses on how he wants to improve his profile. We have provided the first class for free in order to get a better understanding to see if he's actually able to gain something out of it and wants to actually pay for the course. Once he pays for the course and starts learning and completes the entire thing, we'll give him the option to actually gain a few gold coins as such, which will actually benefit him to get better. Actually, I'm actually missing the point. So we'll actually tell him to provide us with the reviews for the product, and also if he's actually recommending to the potential users, this will help the user to actually feel the inclination towards our product and to buy the future courses, and will act as a retention scheme for us. Now Diksha will take you through the user journey. Diksha?
Sorry, Diksha, you are on mute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Arpit. Now I would like you to take through the first part of our application. So after the sign up screen, you can see we'll be asking our users to choose if he's a student or a young professional. We have chosen these two particular target markets because I think first of all I'll go with engineering students. Being an engineer myself, I was able to feel that at this point of time students are mainly confused because they do not know what is expected out of them, how what kind of work they'll get after engineering, and how to behave in the corporate environment as well. Also, the second reason that we chose this stream was because because we think that the target here will be easier to achieve, like target of 10 million students, because of the sheer volume of the market. We actually we think that not we think actually approximately 16 lakh students give JEE exam every year, and India is producing engineers at the rate of approximately 8 to 9 lakh students per year. So I think here the target market is like really big, and we'll be able to achieve the targets really easily. And then secondly, we chose young professionals because here we'll be again the target will be achieved in a better way, because we'll be targeting B2B customers rather than B2C customers. When I enter the corporate market, corporate environment, I really felt that I did not know how to behave properly, and what kind of work will be there. Also, I was not prepared for my first year appraisals. So there, I felt that the need is there that somebody should guide me over there. Again, there is another thing that when a young professional enters in the market within a field. I'm an IT engineer, and within the IT field, I was able to see that I had a lot of opportunities. For example, I could go for web development, mobile application development, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So all these, I needed somebody to guide me over there. So I think we have designed our courses based on these things, like what we felt and what students in general feel is missing from from these applications which are already there. Then after clicking on the students button, we'll be providing users with a psychometric test. Here users will be able to understand their cognitive abilities. This is a small 10 minutes test based on they'll be given aptitude questions, verbal reasoning questions, and logical simple questions. So they might be able to get a basic idea about their strengths and weaknesses, where should they work and where should they not. So here the results will be like, after that the flow seems like this. The results will be published, and they'll know where they are good at and where they are not. Similarly, for young professionals also, we have done the same thing. There also we'll take the test for young professionals, and results will be published. Now I would hand over to Abhishek Kakoti for further explanation.
Well, thank you so much, Diksha. So now, and good afternoon, everyone. Now, continuing with the presentation, as we have seen that the test has already been given by the users, and the results have also been declared based on certain parameters that we have just touched them on. Now, the users will be offered with different types of course lots that will further help them to select the concerned courses. As you can see here, the tabs that we have shown here will guide them to two different sections. One will be the recommended courses, and the second will be the other courses. The recommendation courses section will include all the types of courses that will be most suitable for him based on the statistics that was provided through the test. And the other courses sections will have all the other courses that is provided by MBA Track. Right. So here, this has been done, but our important concern here is that why people will be using our app. See, we know that people download a lot of apps. They download it, use it for some time, and it happens a lot of time that they keep it idle on their phone and never use them again. Right. So we have to create some sort of a attraction that brings them or pulls them towards the app. So what we can do is a simple example of it can be, since we have all the data regarding their interest and also their suitable industries that they may be inclined towards. So we can give them industry insights or trends or certain trends regarding their industries, and also notifications on them. Right. So this might help to keep the customers engaged in our app. Now coming to the few of the courses that we are going to offer, these are just examples of our courses that we are going to offer them. Courses such as basic boosters. Basic booster is there where they will be just on the previous knowledges. Industry analysis, that is similar to one provided by MBA track, MBA track itself. Then coming to intern go, this is a special type of course. Even this is a special type of course where people will be, the users will be monitored right from the time before they have appeared for the interview to the time they have completed their internship and choose to carry on with their career. Then personality development courses where they will be, where we'll be guiding them to develop their personality. Then then the CV building courses where we'll teach them how to build an impactful CV. Then courses such as this where this is where they can create impactful profiles on platforms such as LinkedIn, as we know how important virtual platforms have become now. Coming to this type of courses where digital marketing and make your own program, digital marketing, see, many platforms do provide digital marketing courses, but ours will be a bit different, right? Then people will be using our course, right? So what extra we will give is that we will be giving live experience for 15 days as an additional benefit after the completion of the course. My friend Anshu will tell you how this will happen. And coming to the next course, which we have thought of, is make your own program. Here people can choose from different course lots, different courses from different course lots, and merge them together and create their own course bag. Yeah, that was it. I would request Anshu to carry on with the presentation, please.
Thanks, Abhishek Koti. Now I'm going to take the lead from there. It does not matter how effective an app you will make, but if the knowledge about our product is not going to reach our prospective customers, all of our effort is going to waste. Firstly, in creating awareness, we are planning to do paid advertising, like advertising newspaper, planning to sponsor college event and fest, sponsor college magazine, try to advertise our product via educational YouTube channel like Inside I Am Conversation and educational Instagram pages. We'll try to collaborate with as many colleges and companies as much we can. And where we'll organize seminars time to time and organize various competitions like this. And one important thing is live project, which attract students. Also advertise our project via digital marketing, and in this type of product which we are selling, word of mouth plays a significant role. How we create interest among students and young professionals. First class of all the courses in MBA Track is free for everyone. This class is short as compared to other classes, but it's our showstopper. In a week, if I'm working in MBA Track, I want 15 to 20 posts on Instagram. Out of it, 7 to 8 provide knowledge to the viewer, 3 to 4 about our courses, and 7 to 8 also what currently happening in the industry. And one article every day about industry, what is happening in industry, and a big company, what is happening in the company of the industry on LinkedIn page. And also in a month or 2 months, I want one article. If you are confused between careers, how you decide them. And for me, monitor, review, and reply is the must thing for me. Price of our product ranges from low to moderate. Special discount via gold coin, which I will explain in the next slide. And live project daily update regarding industry, etc., which will retain our consumers. Intent: if I'm going to make the strategy for MBA Tech, I will give more attention on practical knowledge rather than on theoretical one. Like if you are choosing a course from our digital marketing, and if you chose any course digital marketing from Coursera or Udemy, after some time it becomes monotonous, or we sometimes start interest. But in MBA Tech, if you are doing a digital marketing course from MBA Tech, you will get a practical experience from there. Like our digital marketing team of MBA Tech digital marketing team, just try to contact you after every 10 days or 12 days, where they give you assignments which you have to work on, and if they like, they will publish they will implement on MBA Tech. And after every week, you will get to know how much you learn in your courses. It depends on how much you score in your test, and this score and the score of your test is going to present by us in the histogram or in the any graph, which will present in the screen whenever you log in the test. And for the young professional also, we also update their HR, how the employees are working. Abhishek, can you move to the next slide?
Yeah, Anshu, so you have 8 minutes left. Okay.
Sorry?
8 minutes. 12 minutes are over. You have 8 minutes.
Sorry. we are trying to add something new, which I think no edtech startup had done before. You will earn gold coin when you recommend our course because course to new customers, review about our course, solving the queries, and this gold coin which you will utilize by purchasing any MBA Tech new courses. Now my friend Abhishek Kakoti will tell you the basic assessment part. Abhishek, over to you.
Thank you so much, Anshu. Yeah, thank you so much, Anshu. So we were also provided a task of assessing 4 different types of courses. The first, so I'll be taking you through the interview qualifier course that was provided to us. So coming to the course, the users for the course are simply users from the course can be students from any discipline. They can be young professionals as well. The value proposition that this course puts along is that it creates a structuring of thoughts during the interview, right? And this helps in also predicting the next question that can be in line from the interview side, and even improve the speaking skills as well. Now coming to a few improvements that I would suggest for this is that we can add some space to write personalized answers, because while I was giving the solving the questions there, it was all MCQ based questions, and if I wanted to write something on my own, there was no section for that. Then keeping the questions based on cognitive ability, that is thinking more on thinking abilities, and I would really suggest just keep the interview questions a bit more interesting, would be much better. Then some of the new the feature additions that I would like to be there is that there should be a query sections where their queries, if they have any, can be answered. There should be real life interview answers as well. Real people who have sat in interviews and have answered those questions, and how they have answered. There can be a way can be proposed to put those answers there, and teach users to start the introduction with an elevator speech. Elevator speech in the sense, I mean that start their intro with a so-called punchline that will create an interest in the minds of the interviewer. And simplifying the user journey, each user will have a person assigned for all his queries from MBA Track, and results will be displayed via graphs, histograms, etc. And some of the existing feature modification that I would suggest is that the test pages needs to be more engaging, as it was mainly based on all text. The next would be need more than just MCQs, just as I said in the improvement section. If there were spaces to write personal answers, it could have been better. And then create an engaging environment rather than users selecting random options. Now I would like Anshu to take on, please.
Yeah. So last 4.5 minutes. Okay.
Thanks, Abhishek Kakoti. Now I am going to explain the industry part. Before giving test, you will get some link where you will read about the industry. Who are our users? If you look at the industry is a vast area. If I'm an entrepreneur or I am a corporate employee or I'm a professor, or other users of the industry. Value proposition, specialization as an industry expert, industry knowledge about the industry, insightful knowledge about the industry, mentorship. Move to the next slide, Abhishek Kakoti. Abhishek, move to the next slide. Improvement. Firstly, what I want that we have to improve, that we'll upload industry-related job and internship information and update, like project opportunities related to the preferred industry, personalized course for each individual, and what new feature I want to add in it. This article will be published every week, which I also explain in my part on top industry leader companies, one-click info on top company performance, comparison between preferred industry and the other industry, simplifying the user journey. Each user will have a person assigned for all of his queries. Result will be displayed by a simplified bar graph histogram, which is easily understandable for him. Existing feature modification. The page only tests are taken are needed to be more creative. Like if I choose automobile industry, some type of automobile industry image could be uploaded there. And again, last one, need a section for queries and solving them must be kept as a top priority. Now my friend Diksha Singhal explain their part. Diksha, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm on unmute. Thank you, Anshu. Now I would like to tell you about the internship performance assessment. So here it's about the exit interview. My users will be young professionals, undergraduate students who have done their internship, MBA students who also from the internship perspective, and senior secondary students also from the internship perspective. So value proposition will be analyzing the performance throughout the internship, and like how he has performed, what is needed, like how he can perform better in a better way. And then will also be help him to understand clearly that what are the skills that he has gathered, and get the best out of what he is actually learning there. And will help him in the future planning as well, future like how, where to, in which stream to go and how to improve. Now what are the improvements will be explaining, we can explain them about the office etiquettes, because corporate is obviously different than what a student is. Corporate life is totally different, so office etiquettes are necessary to be explained. Then we'll be providing them insights about the industry, and a personalized future course for each individual will also be provided along with this. Then the new features which can be added are we can compare a person's like we can have a chart or description somewhere where we can compare him a person's previous self with the post internship personality, like what he has learned over there. Then we can have we can provide where the improvement areas are there for the, like where a candidate can improve. Then it is we can represent everything in a graphical or pictorial way, because we know that not everybody is a reader, not everybody can read those huge paragraphs and lines. We can just represent the data in such a way that it is easily understandable just by looking at it. Then for simplifying the user journey, I think it is like we can have a dedicated mentor for each user. I know it is tough, but we can have it. Simple analysis with effective pictorials. Again, the analysis should be done with pictorials. Existing feature modification could be, we can just frame our questions in a better way, in a simpler way, and we can add a chat box for user to navigate and ask queries for them. Now I would hand over to Arpita Ketia.
Yeah, for the product right type of organization, I feel the users are particularly students, be it engineering, non-engineering, or MBA graduate. The value proposition I feel is great because the decisions usually made by the students are actually inclined by their recent peers or relatives as such. Next page. One thing I would particularly like to improve upon is the analysis presented. So rather than showing it in a descriptive way, I would like to see the results in a radar graph kind of way, so that I can see for what all industry I'm actually good at, or for what all industry I'm actually pretty average, and for what industry I'm actually not suitable at all. Yeah, so that is all from our side. We are open for questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Team Think Tank. It was a great presentation, I must say. Okay, so I'll start with few questions that I have. Right. So the part one of the presentation was mostly, it was about UI or UX, and one also other important thing, that is acquiring 1 million users in the next 12 months, which I found missing in the presentation. So any take on that?
Sir, actually, I was going towards that, but due to time constraint, I explained on the outlines of it. For example, for young professionals, we are targeting B2B customers. For example, like if I am from Cognizant, Cognizant might help, might train students, or young professionals. If Cognizant is a mass hirer and it is hiring like 40,000 students per year, then I think it'll be purchasing 40,000 courses per year. And same way we can, like for Cognizant, then we can have so many other like acquiring B2B is easier. We can have Infosys, TCS, and so many. Then again, not in the engineering, not in the IT field, we can have it in the civil or other like other young professionals, commerce background professionals, and everybody. And then same for the, like basically we brainstormed on these two target markets, because our main agenda was acquiring 1 million customers in the next 1 year. So there also for students also we took engineering students because 16 lakh students give JEE exam every year, and India is producing a great number of engineers. So there also we can target like we can go to coaching centers, and for engineers also we can have tie-ups with the placement teams of various engineering colleges. So if the placement like or we can have the direct like we can talk to the director directly, and then he can propose that you should take a course. For these days, like in private colleges, there are approximately like maybe 500 to 600 students per college who can take this course, because these courses will be helpful for them. So that way we were expecting to have it.
So let us assume, so it's already December. Let us assume the 12-month cycle starts from January 21 till December 21, right? And keeping the two segments in mind that you have picked, just a guesstimate question: which quarter do you think would be the one in which we would be expecting, or we should be expecting, the maximum user acquisition? So I mean, the first quarter of the year, second, third, or fourth? Along with
I'll break it into two parts. For engineering students, it will be in the month of maybe from September till November or December, because at that time placements are approaching. So that way, at that time, that for young professionals, and for engineering students as well, I think no, for engineering students it is September to November, and for young professionals I think it is the first quarter of the year where they are actually hired and the process starts taking place.
Actually, young professionals can be better in Q3 as well, because since the college ends by July or August, we can expect industries to actually gain from us in the Q3, I feel.
Yes, that's also right.
Okay, all right. Just one last, the last one from my side. So you have, created few beautiful courses, digital marketing, personality, and all. But here's my, a contradictory point on that. Don't you think there already are a lot of courses available in the market? There is a library that, you call Coursera, you call, Udemy. There are a lot of platforms. YouTube in itself, is just like a big vast ocean, right? So why, and I understood your point of one-to-one connectivity that Abhishek probably mentioned in the digital marketing course, while I think Anshu was mentioning that Abhishek will tell what's the USP over there, and Abhishek told that okay, after every 10 days one of our expert would be connecting. Okay, that is good, but don't you think, and you are studying at an IIM, you already are overloaded with a lot of courses, with a lot of case studies, you have very specific deadlines. Now what is the use, what is the necessity of introducing additional list of so many courses? Wouldn't it just be information overloading for the user?
Hello.
Yeah, Abhishek.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's true. But the thing is, sir, see, if we have to learn, means if the users have to learn, they have to sacrifice something, right? They have to give up their time. So since we are providing them with practical experience of the industry, our DM means our digital marketing manager will be connecting with them. That means they are getting a practical experience. So we believe that they will be interested in our course.
Sir,
Sir,
Yeah, Anshu,
go on.
I want to add in, from my side, even I'm a commerce graduate and I'm interested in marketing. I also try to do digital marketing course from Coursera, Udemy. After half of the course, it's become monotone, boring. So I don't get any personal experience. It's like I am getting a course from YouTube. But in the MBA Tech, when I decided digital marketing work, I try to think from the user's point of view, what I want. And I want a practical experience at any cost. And if you give me the assignment every day, and if I get that it is going to check by the digital marketing team. And if they like my project, they will implement on MBA Tech. So believe me, I will interested in it. Sir, we are MBA. Our schedule starts from 8 a.m. and it's ended at 4 a.m. in the night. So it's not, if there is a demand for digital marketing course, I am going to do it at any cost.
Just one final, not a question, but just a final point from my side. So I think you pushed, too much on the course side. What I liked on the other side was what probably Diksha mentioned a couple of times: the etiquettes of the corporate world, the etiquettes of the college, the college life. That is something what the journey is all about. The journey should not be limited to just digital marketing or personality development courses. Yes, they are important, but it's the small things that count the most, in a user journey. And that has been, very well taken care of a couple of times at least in the entire course. So yeah, a good job done, I must say. Over to you, Sir or Rahul.
So I'll just go ahead. So a couple of interesting. So first of all, I think good presentation, very well thought through. Uh, just a thought on the users. With all the big brands, especially in EdTech, and everybody is going B2C, not even B2C. Everybody is going direct to the customer. Do you think? I mean, and we've done B2B for a while now. Do you think we're going to be dragging our feet with an app in a B2B sales motion?
I beg your pardon, sir.
So I said, do you think we are dragging our feet by taking B2B? We're taking a very hard option. We've done B2B in the past. It's not the easiest thing to do. While it may look very lucrative, it takes a lot to convince a B2B customer. And with the entire EdTech market actually going direct to the customer, what makes us feel that B2B is the right way to go and acquire customers?
So there are a couple of points over there. Firstly, I think we do have an excellent product, because see, when we are going for B2B, it's a business. If I am convincing a person to buy a product, it's easier. But if I'm convincing a person to buy a product for the entire organization, my product has to be very thoughtful. My product has to be genuine, and it has to be genuinely good. So I think it depends on the product. We at MBA Track, I think we do have that kind of those kind of products which are actually relevant to the industry, relevant for everybody, and they are a bit different. So yes, B2B is tough, but we will be able to achieve our targets easily, and we do have the capability to achieve our targets because of the unique products that we have created.
And one
Also,
thing,
adding to Diksha's point, I think if we actually see the requirements of corporate HRs, and if we are in regular touch, and if we get to know like what all requirements are there for the new employees that they're actually expecting, and with the same way, actually, if the placement team gets to know that these are the requirements and XYZ is the requirement for them to actually recruit from us. And if we actually link both of them together, it will be a win-win situation for both of them, I feel, which is the beauty of our product.
and one thing also, we are going B2B on young profession, but on student, engineering students, we are going to B2B also and B2C also. And according, if my personal point of what I'm thinking, that we don't, that one market is still no one have touched in EdTech is after 10th. Even after 10th also students are confused which market they have to choose, which course they have to choose. Just so, I think MBA Tech has to add this point also in their courses.
Sorry, I was on mute. So I think, okay, fair enough. Another question which comes to my mind, given the presentation, I think came up is, you talked about a lot about, oh, let's get some users. They'll take up our courses. A lot of them will be free because we have to acquire the customers first. What is it that we do which will actually make users actually buy? Because see, I can be funded for a very long period of time by investors to build a base, but eventually everybody says you have to monetize, right? And you've all been in your MBA courses and probably done accounts and economics by now. The world revolves around money, right? So it's not around goodwill. While goodwill shows up on the balance sheet, but money shows up on the P&L, right? So how do I build the P side of my P&L, right? How do I get people to pay? What would we need to do with what you have constructed or thought through to actually get people to move from freemium or fully discounted customers to paid customers?
Anshu, do you mind if I answer this?
Yeah, you will answer. You are an
Yeah.
accountant.
Yeah, so sir, basically what happens in the Indian market is that we have also seen when the Indian customers basically they believe in trying the thing first and then purchasing it. So it happens in the day-to-day world as well. People go to the malls, to the shopping retail outlets as well. They try on their dresses, try on their shoes. Only after that they are purchasing it. So what we will do is, since we are providing the free sessions, so we are giving them and showing them the quality that we have in our courses and what we actually inherit, right? So sir, we believe from the seeing our quality and seeing our potential, they will be changing themselves from free users to the paid ones or the premium ones.
Also adding to Abhishek's point, I feel Indians particularly like discounts as well. So when we actually target bulk masses and for let's just say I'm talking about young professionals, and if I actually pitch to the HR in such a way that that you are actually taking 6 months of your time to actually upgrade your young professional that you've already taken, and that amount you can actually save and do it for just I mean 10% or 20% of that same budget. I think it will be beneficial for us as well as the corporate HR.
And one thing also, nothing is free in our course. Nothing is free in MBA Tech. Only the first class of the course is free, which is a showstopper and which will attract customer to purchase this course. And let's take a situation, we did not give anything free and I purchase the course. After some time I don't like it, then I'm going to say that I don't like their course, that they don't give me an option to try it. But in this only the first class is free, where you will get to know whether you like it or not. If you like it, you are going to pay for it. And one thing also, that special discount which we add is the gold coin. Gold coin. If you give that discount, you will give them a 600 or 700 off. But in a gold coin, you will give them gold coin when they review to others, when they do word to mouth to the advertisement. And this gold coin will decide after some time how much it's equal to the money, sir.
Okay.
And I think after a point of time, if we adding, sorry,
No, go ahead.
I think after a point of time, if we have a good product, so the target markets that we have, like engineering students, word of mouth also plays a great role in there, because I have a lot of friends who are studying in engineering colleges other than mine. So of course, if I like a product, I'll ask a friend to join it, and then he'll ask another friend, and so on, like the entire, we can have a chain of colleges who like this product, and that will also can play a great role in this.
And for
Like
encouraging
our markets
this,
is such that everything is
and for
connected.
encouraging this, we use gold coin. If you tell your friend or recommend to others, you will get a gold
Yeah,
coin.
I think where you're so I think while the answers are good and very thoughtful, I think you're still thinking from acquisition standpoint. I am actually going the other way around, down your funnel that you created. It's the conversion to paid users, and at least to my mind, in the edtech world, people are able to acquire, but the challenge, even the biggest of the biggest, have lakhs and millions of users, but only a few thousand paid customers. And therefore, the average revenue per user goes up very high because they have to pitch extremely premium products. And fundamentally, if you think about it, beyond a point, any free content will run its course and will no longer deliver the final value to the customer, right? Because will you give your best product free? No. So I think that it's something that we are still figuring out, by the way, as a business. I think there is a happy medium to be achieved, and I don't think edtech as an industry has an answer for it right now. I think edtech is right now in a heavy acquisition mode. I mean, I think the way to think about it is It's kind of like a food tech and food delivery business, right? Everything was free, and now suddenly, before you look at your bill on the Swiggy or Zomatos of the world, there's a almost 150 rupee extra charge for God knows a million things, right? But you end up paying it now because you know what you just don't want to step out of your house and whatnot, and just want to get food delivered. So I think there is more to that story, and probably I think worth thinking for us as well. I think, and that's why this question was top of mind, because it wasn't addressed in the presentation. That's something we wanted to understand. Cool. I think one more thing, why while you may feel that it may be slightly outside the case, but the idea with the UXO, and you would have read in the case, is we're looking at a UX as a person who understands UI, UX, business, and customers. So we are looking for that one single person who solves everything and who understands technology. So it is CTO plus, CEO plus, and CMO plus. So it's three people combined into one, right? Which is kind of strange and rare. So cool. Rahul, any questions from your end?
No, mostly I was interested towards the piece where they talked about B2B for the young professionals. But yeah, they covered it towards the end. So yeah.
Okay. That tends to be Rahul's area, so Rahul will be very, very interesting. I think one question. So let me take the liberty. Ayush, can we go ahead?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Do
We
we
have
have
time.
enough time for another question? Okay. So I think a quick question on the B2B side, because we've done some large deals in the past. Going, especially with COVID and everything and all what is happening today, and this whole work from home setup and whatnot, what is the incentive for companies to partner with someone like us to actually do all this upskilling and all this stuff for employees anymore?
So I think,
Like,
shall I go?
yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
please.
So I think now after the COVID era, incentive is all the more than it was before the COVID era, because now it is difficult for the companies to train as well, because they'll have to hire trainers and everybody. Also, it is difficult for, like, also now, since everything is going online, students are not really already trained by their college. They have to be trained by because when you are meeting peers, you are meeting seniors as well, you have a lot of talks with the seniors. But now everything is going on the online mode. We do not have any interaction with the seniors and everybody who have already worked. So I think that gap will be there, which could be filled with our products. We will have to train our young professionals about their year-end appraisals, like what to expect in certain areas, like for the first time, going on time is very important, going to office on time is very important, and those small things which are not covered by anybody. So those things have to be inculcated in the young professionals, and those things after the COVID era are even more important because nobody else will be telling them. Companies will have to be like, it will be difficult for the number one, it will be difficult for the companies to train them, and secondly, it will be difficult for the students to gain that kind of knowledge without one-to-one interaction with their seniors or their colleagues who are already knowledgeable about it. So they need to have these courses which can give them the basics. They need to have, we'll be providing them with industry connect. So, those kind of courses are important even more after this COVID era. Yeah, during this COVID era. And of course, like our courses are online, right? So in the COVID era, everything has shifted online. Like, before, what was happening was people were trained, like in my college, people were called from outside to train us about these etiquettes and everything. But now no college will be calling because of this COVID era, because no physical training will happen in the college. So people, young professionals will be raw. So online medium is even better for us.
Okay, fair, good. I think good from my end. Rahul, any final questions
Yeah,
from
good
your
from
end?
my end as well.
Okay, good.
think that went well. Now, any questions that your team has, for us, Team Think Tank?
Actually, I have a question. Can I ask? So, where you get the idea of UXO? So, it's unique and first time I heard this. I want to know about it.
Okay, sir, can I take that? Yeah. So see, Anshu, what happens is whenever a new product development is, being done in a corporate world, and especially in the edtech industry, that is something which we will all relate to. So the product goes through multiple phases, right? The number one is the ideation, the stage at which the idea is generated. It is when the product team, involves with the UI UX part and takes care of the entire journey in, your UI thing, and each and everything of the product is being taken care of. Once that is done, and when that is, under progress, the marketing team also gets involved to create the marketing campaigns, the digital campaigns, the content around which the product should be marketed, right? Now when the product is under development and the marketing team has curated the entire content and the entire strategy, it's the data team or the analytics team which comes into the play, that okay, we will evaluate the user journey on so and so metrics, and on the basis of which we would be providing with so and so outputs. This is how we should be changing our strategies. If this is the threshold, that we achieve, if the number of, let's say, if the CAC goes beyond this, or if the ARPU goes below this, that is how we should be changing our content or entire product model accordingly, right? So if you see, what I have just said, and there are multiple feedback loops, okay, between all these teams. Now what essentially happens is, in real time scenario, there are a lot of teams, and in teams there are a lot of people who are engaging with each other, right? Now just imagine if there is one team, or if there is one individual who has a basic understanding of all these verticals that I've just mentioned: your user interface, your user experience, your product marketing, your product management, your data analytics, and how you should be able to take advantage of the tech in order to do all of this in the simplest possible time, in the simplest time possible, right? That is something which the industry probably has not answered yet. They would have obviously thought of it, right? And that is something which we at MBA Trek thought, that probably all of these verticals need someone to be monitored by. We need a person who has an idea of each and everything, so that all these transitions can go in a very beautiful and progressive manner. So that is how we, and then it is, at that point of time, when we realize that it is around a CXO something out of a role, we have CTO, we have CEO, we have CMO. And since it was about users, so the C just, became inverted, it became U. And that is how we landed up, with UX.
So insightful for me.
So that was Ayush's very deep and detailed answer. Let me give you the simple answer. I think the simple answer is, for fundamentally now what is an app-led business, right, where you are going through tech and trying to go direct to the customer. You need one individual who says, how do I get a great user experience through technology to a person and drive my business? So the person needs to understand business, technology, and users, and wowing the users. So therefore UXO.
Thank you.
Right? But the difference is, because in our country we don't have that whole career counseling, career pathing, career guidance thing. What will wow people to it? And remember, I said it right at the start. We need the virality component. The viral part will only come if the user experience is great. That is when India will fundamentally wake up to say, hey, for so many years, all career guidance meant to everybody was degree and college, but actually that's wrong. You're almost fighting 50 years of an education system, 60 years of an education system, and saying that everybody in the system is actually not 100, not even 50% right. Actually, that's a very hard message for anybody to digest, right? The problem is we all learn that message 2-3 years into our career. So most engineers will go back and saying, actually my engineering degree did not contribute anything to my job. But the problem is, even after having that information, we don't go to the same set of engineers right now or potential engineers and tell them, don't do engineering. Nobody wants to make that message. And therefore, whoever delivers that message, better deliver it in such a way that it completely wows people. Otherwise, it's like you're almost attacking the system, right?
And yeah, if you get this knowledge from our schooling time, it will be more helpful.
Yeah. I mean, that's a different battle altogether. So we've always considered that I think did Abhishek say that maybe a 10th standard is the right place to start, or even earlier, maybe 9th standard. But that's another, schools and principals, that's another battle to fight, right? So it's a very different battle comparatively, because the education system is structured around streams and getting admissions to colleges and all that, right? Now you suddenly tell people actually going to college is not even important. And this is where you would notice even the biggest companies, IT companies, are doing hackathons where they are hiring people without degrees. Because they say, if you know how to code and you can solve my problem, you don't need to have a degree. And I'll give you the same salary as a degree holder. So where is the value, effectively the Indian ROI of a degree that we all calculate, right? So therefore this UX piece is very critical for us, right? Because what we are attempting, what we are attempting is we're trying to either you break your head against a brick wall or climb up the brick wall. We're trying to do both things together, right? So it's a pretty hard message for anybody to digest, honestly, anywhere in the education system, may it be the students, faculty, training placement departments, even the companies also, right? So yeah, I think that's that.
Yeah.
So
This is so insightful.
Okay, good.
yeah,
Ayush, we're good to go then?
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you, Team Think Tank. It was great, having you with us. And yeah, we will, we will release the results shortly. No issues with that. Okay. So with that, have a great day. Have a great time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Can I now please request you to leave the room?
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity, team. It was a pleasure meeting you all.
Yeah, we would like to thank you for the opportunity and
Thank
for
you.
selecting us as the national finalists.
And
We'll be definitely looking forward to meet you all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for giving us so much of time so that we can answer, we can ask our queries and you can give us insights about yourself.
Sure, absolutely. Just let's get vaccinated first, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, sir.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.